They can't wait to marry you. Heaven says there's a hidden truth. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because you didn't stumble onto these words by accident. You were guided here at a moment when your spirit is quietly asking questions your mouth hasn't said out loud yet. There is someone in your life, or approaching your life, who talks about forever with certainty, who imagines rings, vows, and a shared future as if it's already written, and on the surface it feels beautiful, comforting, even destined. But listen closely, because heaven is leaning in right now and whispering something deeper that you must hear before you move forward. Don't scroll, stay with me, because this isn't meant to create fear, it's meant to create clarity. The kind of clarity that protects your heart and your future. This person feels sure. They feel eager, they feel ready in their own way, and yes, their desire is real, their love is genuine, but heaven sees layers humans don't always notice, and heaven never rushes covenants that are meant to last. Listen to this, your soul has felt a strange mix of excitement and hesitation, a pull forward and a quiet pause at the same time, and you may have wondered why, because on paper everything looks right. But spiritually something feels unfinished, unresolved, or unaligned. Don't scroll. Because that feeling is not doubt, it's discernment, and discernment is one of the clearest signs of spiritual awakening. This message is for you because you are no longer operating only from emotion, you are learning to listen with your spirit, and that's why heaven is speaking to you now. There is a hidden truth, not a lie, not betrayal, but a truth about readiness, about timing, about healing. That must surface before marriage can be blessed fully. Listen to this, love can be sincere and still be premature, commitment can be desired and still be misaligned, and heaven does not deny love, it refines it. Don't scroll, because refinement is protection, not punishment. You've been seeing signs lately, haven't you? Repeating numbers when you think about the future, 1111 showing up when you imagine walking down an aisle, 222 appearing when you question balance and partnership, 444 appearing when you ask silently, am I safe? These are not coincidences, these are signals, gentle reminders from the universe that timing matters just as much as intention. Listen to this. Marriage is not just about love, it's about endurance, honesty, accountability, and shared spiritual growth, and heaven is checking alignment at a soul level before allowing promises to become permanent. Don't scroll, stay here, because your heart needs this reassurance. The pause you're feeling does not mean don't, it means not yet or not like this. And there is wisdom in that pause that will save you years of confusion later. Listen to this, the hidden truth may be something they haven't healed yet, something they haven't fully faced, something they may not even be consciously aware of, but heaven knows, and heaven loves you too much to let you walk into a covenant carrying what should have been healed beforehand. Don't scroll, because this is destiny speaking softly. You are not meant to ignore that inner nudge. You are meant to honor it. You are in a season of awakening where your intuition is sharpening, where your nervous system is learning the difference between excitement and peace is the language of aligned love. Listen to this, urgency is not always romance, sometimes it's fear of loss, sometimes it's fear of being alone, sometimes it's fear of facing oneself. And heaven separates urgency from readiness very clearly. Don't scroll, because the universe has been preparing you for a love that feels steady, not rushed, secure, not pressured, clear, not confusing, and that preparation required slowing things down so truth could rise gently instead of exploding later. Listen to this. You may notice that conversations about marriage feel emotionally charged instead of calm, or that your body tightens even when your mind says yes. That's not resistance, that's wisdom forming. Don't scroll, stay with me. Because this message is not here to tell you to walk away, it's here to tell you to see. Clearly, soulmate connections are real, but soulmates are not perfect. They must grow into alignment, and heaven does not bind souls together until both can stand in truth without hiding. Listen to this, the signs around you are increasing because a revelation is approaching, not something dramatic, but something honest, a conversation, a realization, a moment where you suddenly understand why the pause was necessary. And when it comes, you won't feel panic, you'll feel relief, because clarity always feels lighter than confusion. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this right now. You are not late, you are not missing out, you are not being denied love, you are being protected from a version of the future that would have required you to carry what wasn't yours to fix. Listen to this, heaven's goal is not just marriage, it's peace within marriage, not just union, but stability, safety, and shared purpose. And that kind of love does not rush, it aligns. Don't scroll, stay here. Because this is only the beginning of the revelation, and something is about to come into focus that will explain why your spirit hesitated even when your heart felt hopeful. Trust the signs, trust the pause, trust the divine timing unfolding around you, because what is meant for you will not require you to ignore your intuition to keep it, and heaven is already working to make sure that when you say yes, your whole soul will feel safe saying it. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because something deeper is unfolding behind the promise, behind the excitement, behind the words about forever, and heaven wants you calm, grounded, and clear as this truth gently rises. There is a reason your spirit has been alert lately, a reason your intuition has been tapping you at quiet moments, especially when the future is mentioned. Listen closely, this is not fear. This is awareness, and awareness is the language of spiritual maturity. Don't scroll, stay with me, because the universe is revealing layers slowly on purpose. You are dealing with a connection that feels destined, one where marriage feels close, almost inevitable, and yet heaven is stepping in not to stop it, but to examine it under divine light. Listen to this. Love can be sincere and still incomplete, desire can be strong and still misaligned. And heaven's role is not to rush outcomes, it is to protect covenants. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. The pause you feel is not rejection, it's divine inspection. The universe is asking questions beneath the surface, questions about healing, about readiness, about truth, questions that must be answered before vows are spoken. Listen to this, you've been seeing angel numbers at key moments for a reason. 222 appearing when you wonder if the partnership will truly be balanced. 333 showing up when you ask for guidance without words. 444 surrounding you when you need to feel safe and protected. 555 flashing when change feels imminent but undefined. These numbers are confirmations that timing is active, that heaven is present, that nothing is being left to chance. Don't scroll, because the hidden truth heaven is guarding is not meant to hurt you. It's meant to save you from carrying weight that isn't yours. There is something unresolved in the foundation, something that must be addressed openly, honestly, gently, before permanence is blessed. Listen to this. The universe does not reveal everything at once because clarity delivered too fast can overwhelm the heart, so it unfolds truth in stages, and right now you are in the stage of discernment. Don't scroll, stay here, because discernment is a gift. Not everyone develops it before making life-altering commitments. You have, and that's why this message found you. Listen to this. You may notice moments where the conversation about marriage feels emotionally intense instead of peaceful, where urgency replaces calm, where pressure replaces patience, and that's not because something is wrong, it's because something is unfinished. Don't scroll, because heaven is not saying no, it's saying slow down so alignment can catch up. Listen to this, soulmate connections often feel magnetic, but magnetism alone is not what sustains marriage, alignment does. And alignment requires both people to face their inner work fully. Don't scroll, because your soul has been awakening, learning to listen to the body, to intuition, to subtle signs instead of only words, and that awakening is protecting you now. Listen to this, the universe often uses silence, delay, and inner hesitation as sacred tools, not to confuse, but to clarify. You are being asked to trust what you feel even if it doesn't yet make logical sense. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this right now. The hidden truth may surface as a conversation that feels uncomfortable but freeing, a realization that clicks suddenly, or a pattern you can no longer unsee, and when it does, you will feel relief before you feel anything else. Because truth always brings relief before it brings resolution. Listen to this, heaven cares more about your peace than your timeline, more about your safety than appearances, more about long-term stability than quick promises. And that's why divine numbers like 777 may have been appearing, reminding you that you are exactly where you need to be, even if others feel ahead or behind. Don't scroll, because comparison has no place in divine timing. This message is for you because you are being prepared for a covenant, not just a wedding, a covenant that requires honesty, emotional maturity, and shared growth. Listen to this, the universe will never rush you into something that requires you to silence your intuition to maintain it, and if your intuition is speaking now, it's because it's finally strong enough to be trusted. Don't scroll. Stay here. Because heaven is also working on the other heart involved, bringing things to the surface, prompting reflection, creating moments of realization, and that process takes time. Listen to this, divine timing often operates in cycles of 7 and 12, growth cycles and completion cycles, and you are nearing the end of one, which is why clarity feels close but not fully formed yet. Don't scroll, because your heart needs patience. Not pressure, reassurance, not urgency. Listen to this, you are not meant to fix, rush, or rescue anyone into readiness. Love does not require self-sacrifice at the cost of self-truth, and heaven will not ask that of you. Don't scroll, because the universe is reminding you that when marriage is aligned, it feels grounding, not destabilizing. It feels safe, not rushed. It feels mutual, not one-sided. Listen to this, if something needs to be revealed, it will be, gently, clearly, at the right moment, and when it happens, you will not feel broken, you will feel informed, empowered, and protected. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this right now. The delay you're sensing is not a setback, it's a safeguard. It's heaven making sure that when you say yes, you're not carrying hidden weight into forever. Listen to this, trust the signs, trust the numbers, trust the calm voice inside you that asks questions instead of panicking, because that voice is wisdom. And wisdom is guiding you toward a future that doesn't just look good, but feels right. Don't scroll, stay with me, because this unfolding is not finished yet, and what comes next will bring clarity that feels steady, not shocking, and when the truth fully surfaces, you will understand why heaven insisted on slowing everything down, why patience was required, and why your intuition was never meant to be ignored. You are being guided, protected, and prepared, and the universe is not done speaking yet. Don't scroll, listen to this, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because something sacred is unfolding beneath the surface of what looks like certainty, promises, and future plans, and heaven is asking you to slow your breath and really feel what's happening instead of rushing to label it. There is a reason your spirit has been alert lately, a reason your emotions feel layered, hopeful yet cautious, excited yet reflective, and that reason is not fear, it's wisdom. Activating, listen closely, when someone talks about marrying you with urgency, with certainty, with passion, it can feel flattering, validating, even destined, but heaven does not measure readiness by words, heaven measures it by alignment, by consistency, by the ability to hold truth without defensiveness. Don't scroll, stay here, because this is not about doubting love, it's about understanding it at a deeper level. Your soul has been evolving, shedding old patterns, releasing the need to rush into certainty just to feel safe, and that evolution is why heaven is speaking to you now. Listen to this. There is a hidden layer beneath the desire to marry you, not something dark or malicious, but something unfinished, something still forming, something that needs light before it can be carried into a lifetime commitment. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. The pause you feel is not sabotage, it's discernment. And discernment is one of the highest forms of self-respect. You've been through seasons where you ignored that inner voice, where you moved forward even when your body felt tight, where you chose potential over peace, and heaven remembers what you survived. That's why it's slowing things down now. Listen to this. Love that is meant to last does not fear examination, it welcomes it, and if something feels intense but not settled, exciting but not grounded, that's not a red flag. It's a signal to pause and look closer. Don't scroll, stay with me, because the universe often reveals truth in waves, not all at once, first through feelings, then through patterns, then through clarity, and you are in the phase where patterns are becoming impossible to ignore, conversations that circle the same themes, emotions that spike when commitment is discussed, moments where your intuition whispers, not yet, even when your heart says, almost. Listen to this. That whisper is not trying to take love away from you, it's trying to protect the version of you that will exist inside the marriage, the future you who deserves stability, safety, and shared emotional labor. Don't scroll, because your heart needs to hear this. Marriage is not a finish line, it's a beginning, and heaven does not bless beginnings that are built on avoidance, pressure, or unspoken truths. You may sense that there are conversations that haven't happened yet, questions that haven't been asked openly, parts of their story that haven't fully integrated, and that doesn't make them a bad person, it makes them human. But heaven insists on honesty before covenant. Listen to this. The universe is not testing your patience, it is strengthening your clarity, because clarity will protect you long after excitement fades. Don't scroll, stay here, because this message is meant to ground you, not alarm you. You are not being asked to walk away. You are being asked to stand still long enough for truth to rise, and truth always rises when there is space. That's why delays appear, that's why timing shifts, that's why you're being encouraged to listen inward instead of outward. Listen to this. You are in a season where your intuition is louder because you've finally learned to trust it, and that is a sign of spiritual maturity, not skepticism. Don't scroll, because the universe has been giving you subtle confirmations that you are supported in this pause. Moments of calm where you expected anxiety, moments of peace where you expected urgency, moments of clarity where you expected confusion. These are signs that you are being guided. Listen to this. If marriage is aligned, it will still be aligned after truth is revealed, after conversations happen, after healing continues. Real alignment does not expire with patience. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reminder. Love that pressures you to ignore your intuition is not love that protects your future. And heaven will never ask you to silence yourself to keep a blessing. Listen to this. You are not behind, you are not missing out, you are not ruining anything by asking for time, you are honoring the sacredness of commitment, and heaven honors that too. Don't scroll, stay here, because what is unfolding next is not chaos, it is clarity. Something will surface gently, naturally, without force, and when it does, you will understand why your spirit asked for pause even when your heart felt hopeful. Listen to this. The goal is not to delay love, it is to deepen it, to strengthen it, to ensure that when you step into forever, you are not carrying hidden weight, unresolved wounds, or unanswered questions. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this truth right now. What is meant for you will not fall apart under honesty, it will either rise stronger or reveal itself as a lesson that prepared you for something better, and either outcome is protection. Listen to this. Heaven is not silent, it is precise. It speaks when you are ready to listen, and you are listening now. That alone tells you everything you need to know about your growth. Stay here, breathe, trust the pause, trust your intuition, trust that clarity is not something you have to chase, it will meet you exactly where you are, and when it does, your heart will feel lighter, steadier, and finally at peace knowing you didn't rush past wisdom just to reach a promise. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because something profound is settling into place and your spirit has been quietly preparing for this moment. Even if your mind has been racing ahead, there is a reason you've been feeling reflective lately, a reason your emotions feel deeper, slower, more intentional, and that reason is not confusion, it's awareness expanding. Listen closely. When someone speaks about marrying you, about forever, about building a life together, it can feel comforting, exciting, even divinely timed, and yet heaven is gently asking you to pause and listen beneath the words, not because something is wrong, but because something is incomplete, and incomplete things require patience, not pressure. Don't scroll, stay here, because this isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to steady you. You are in a season where your intuition has become sharper than your fear, where your body reacts before your mind can rationalize, and that is a sign of growth, not doubt. Listen to this. Your soul has matured past rushing into certainty just to feel secure, and heaven honors that maturity by slowing things down so truth can rise gently instead of crashing later. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. The hesitation you feel is not resistance to love, it is respect for the weight of commitment. Marriage is not just a promise of affection, it is a shared responsibility of healing. Communication, accountability, and emotional safety, and heaven does not bless unions built on urgency or avoidance. Listen to this. There are layers beneath the desire to marry you that still need light, not darkness, not deception, just honesty, growth, and integration, and those layers will surface whether before vows or after. Heaven simply prefers before. Don't scroll, stay with me, because this message is meant to protect the future version of you, the you who will wake up every morning inside that commitment, the you who deserves peace instead of emotional labor disguised as love. Listen to this. You may notice that conversations about the future feel emotionally charged, that excitement quickly turns into tension, that reassurance is sought instead of naturally felt. These are not flaws, they are signals, signals asking for space, reflection, and deeper conversations. Don't scroll, because the universe often speaks through discomfort long before it speaks through clarity. And you are being guided to listen instead of override what you feel. Listen to this. You are not meant to fix, heal, or rush anyone into readiness. Love is not a project, and marriage is not a solution to unresolved inner work. Heaven asks for wholeness before union, not perfection, but willingness, awareness, and accountability. Don't scroll, because your heart needs to hear this clearly. The pause you are sensing is not delay for delay's sake, it is divine alignment checking whether both souls can stand in truth without fear of losing each other. Listen to this: love that is meant to last does not collapse under honest conversations, it deepens, it steadies, it grows roots, and if something feels fragile under truth, heaven will not ask you to ignore that fragility. Don't scroll, stay here, because you are in a season where your nervous system is learning to recognize peace as love, not adrenaline, not intensity, not urgency, and that learning is sacred. It took you years of lessons to reach this point, years of choosing growth over familiarity, years of listening when it would have been easier to ignore yourself. Listen to this: heaven remembers every time you settled before, every time you compromised your intuition to keep connection alive, and that's why it is protecting you now, not with loud warnings, but with quiet nudges. Don't scroll, because the clarity you are waiting for is forming, not forcing its way in. Clarity arrives when space is respected, when questions are allowed, when timing is honored. Listen to this: you are not being asked to walk away, you are being asked to slow down enough to see clearly, and slowing down does not kill what is meant for you, it preserves it. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reminder. What is aligned will not pressure you to choose before you're ready, it will meet you where you are and grow with you. Listen to this: if something needs to be revealed, it will surface naturally, through conversation, through realization, through a moment of truth that feels relieving rather than devastating, because truth spoken at the right time heals instead of harms. Don't scroll, stay with me, because this message is anchoring you into trust, trust in your intuition, trust in divine timing, trust that love does not disappear just because it is examined. Listen to this: you are not behind, you are not missing out, you are not being denied happiness, you are being guided toward a future that does not require you to silence yourself to maintain it. Don't scroll, because heaven values your peace more than your timeline, your safety more than appearances, your long-term joy more than temporary excitement. Listen to this: when marriage is aligned, it feels grounding, not destabilizing, it feels supportive, not pressuring, it feels mutual, not one-sided, and if that alignment needs time, heaven will give it time. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this truth right now. Patience is not loss, it is wisdom in motion, and wisdom always leads to stability. Listen to this: the unfolding you are in is intentional, guided, and protective, even if it feels uncertain at times. Uncertainty does not mean danger, it often means growth. Don't scroll, stay here, breathe, allow space for truth to surface, allow conversations to deepen, allow timing to do its work. Because what is meant to last will not be threatened by honesty, it will be strengthened by it, and when clarity fully arrives, you will not feel fear, you will feel peace, because peace is the signature of alignment, and alignment is what heaven has been guiding you toward all along. Don't scroll, listen to this: this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because you are standing in a moment that feels quiet on the outside but is incredibly active on the inside, a moment where heaven is doing more work than you can see. And if you've been feeling emotionally alert, reflective, or unusually calm mixed with uncertainty, that is not confusion, that is alignment forming. Listen closely. There is a reason marriage has been coming up around you, in conversations, in thoughts, in dreams, even in the way people speak about your future, and yet there is also a reason your spirit hasn't rushed forward blindly. Your soul is asking for truth before permanence, and heaven honors that request. Don't scroll, stay here, because this isn't about doubting love, it's about protecting the future version of you who will live inside the choice you make. You have grown into someone who understands that commitment is not just romance, it's responsibility. Consistency, emotional safety, and shared growth, and heaven does not allow sacred unions to be built on unspoken fears or unresolved patterns. Listen to this, the desire to marry you may be sincere, deep, and heartfelt, but sincerity alone does not equal readiness, and heaven distinguishes between wanting forever and being prepared to sustain it. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. The pause you feel is not delay for delay's sake, it is divine discernment at work. You are no longer operating from urgency or fear of loss, you are operating from awareness, and awareness changes everything. Listen to this, there are layers beneath the excitement that still need honesty, not shame, not judgment, just truth, and truth does not ruin what is meant to last, it refines it. Don't scroll, stay with me. Because heaven often reveals truth slowly so it can be integrated gently instead of erupting later, and you are in that slow, sacred unfolding now. You may notice that conversations about the future bring up emotions that don't fully settle, or that reassurance is needed more than expected, or that your body reacts before your mind can explain why. These are not problems, they are signals. Signals asking for deeper conversations, more space, and greater self-honesty. Don't scroll, because your intuition is not trying to take love away from you. It is trying to make sure love does not become a burden. Listen to this, you are not meant to carry someone else's unfinished healing into marriage and call it commitment. Love does not require self-erasure, and heaven will never ask you to sacrifice your inner peace to maintain a promise. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this truth right now. You have lived through seasons where you ignored your inner voice, where you pushed forward even when something felt off, where you settled for intensity instead of stability. And heaven remembers every lesson you paid for with tears. That is why it is protecting you now with pauses instead of pain. Listen to this, protection does not always look like doors slamming shut, sometimes it looks like time stretching, conversations slowing, emotions surfacing, and that is what you are experiencing. Don't scroll, stay here, because this message is meant to ground you, not alarm you. You are not being asked to walk away, you are being asked to stay present long enough for clarity to rise. And clarity always rises when it is given space. Listen to this, marriage that is aligned feels calm in the body, steady in the heart, and clear in the mind. It does not require pressure, convincing, or ignoring discomfort, and if something feels intense but not settled, heaven is asking you to honor that feeling, not override it. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance. Slowing down does not mean losing what is meant for you. What is aligned does not expire under patience. It strengthens. Listen to this, the truth that needs to surface will do so gently, through conversation, realization, or a moment of understanding that clicks without chaos, and when it comes, you will feel relief before anything else, because relief is the body's response to truth. Don't scroll, because you are not late, you are not behind, you are not missing your chance at happiness, you are choosing wisdom over impulse, and heaven honors that choice. Listen to this. You are in a season where your nervous system is learning to recognize peace as love, not adrenaline, not urgency, not fear of abandonment, and that recalibration is one of the most important preparations for marriage. Don't scroll, stay with me, because heaven is not rushing you toward a ceremony, it is guiding you toward a covenant, and covenants require honesty, mutual readiness, and emotional maturity. Listen to this, you are not meant to fix, rescue, or rush anyone into alignment. Love that is meant to last meets you where you are and grows with you. It does not ask you to carry what isn't yours. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this truth right now. If marriage is meant, it will still be meant after questions are asked, after truths are spoken, after time is honored, and if something shifts under honesty, that shift is protection, not loss. Listen to this. Heaven is not silent, it is precise. It speaks when you are ready to listen, and you are listening now. That alone tells you how far you've come. Don't scroll, because this unfolding is not finished yet. Clarity is still forming, alignment is still settling, and when the moment comes where everything feels steady instead of rushed, calm instead of pressured, clear instead of confusing, you will know why this pause existed, you will understand why patience was required, and you will thank yourself for not rushing past wisdom just to reach certainty. Breathe, stay present, trust what you feel, trust the timing, trust that love aligned with heaven's guidance will never require you to silence your intuition to keep it, and know this: what is meant for you will meet you in peace, not pressure, and when that happens, your whole soul will finally feel safe saying yes. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because something delicate and deeply intentional is unfolding and heaven wants you present for it, not rushing ahead, not second-guessing yourself, but truly listening. There is a reason your emotions have felt layered lately, hopeful yet cautious, warm yet alert, and that reason is not confusion, it's discernment awakening. Listen closely. When someone speaks about marrying you, about forever, about building a life together, it touches something tender in your heart, something that longs for safety, partnership, and rest, and heaven honors that longing. But heaven also sees what humans often overlook: the unseen layers, the unspoken fears, the unfinished healing that can't be rushed just because love feels strong. Don't scroll, stay here, because this isn't about doubting love. It's about protecting the future version of you who will live inside that commitment every single day. You have grown into someone who understands that marriage is not just affection and attraction, it's emotional responsibility, honesty under pressure, accountability when it's uncomfortable, and the ability to grow together without one person carrying the weight for both. Listen to this. The excitement around marriage can sometimes cover deeper questions that still need answers, not because something is wrong, but because something is incomplete, and heaven never ignores what's incomplete. Heaven brings it gently into the light so it can be healed before it becomes heavy. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. The hesitation you feel is not resistance, it's wisdom. It's your spirit saying, let me understand this fully before I promise my forever, and that is not weakness, that is strength earned through experience. Listen to this. You have lived seasons where you rushed past your intuition because you didn't want to lose love, where you accepted intensity as proof of commitment, where you hoped things would settle after the promise was made, and heaven remembers the cost of those lessons. That's why it is guiding you differently now, with pauses instead of pain, with reflection instead of regret. Don't scroll, stay with me, because heaven is not trying to take anything from you. It is trying to make sure that what you step into doesn't require you to abandon yourself. You may notice that when marriage is discussed, your body reacts before your mind does. Maybe a tightness, maybe a sense of urgency that doesn't fully settle, maybe questions rising even when everything sounds good. Those reactions are not flaws, they are information, they are your inner wisdom communicating in the only language it has. Don't scroll, because your heart needs to hear this clearly. Love that is meant to last does not fear slowing down, it does not fear questions, it does not fear truth. In fact, It grows stronger when those things are welcomed. Listen to this: if something feels rushed, it's often because there is an unspoken fear underneath: fear of loss, fear of being alone, fear of facing unfinished inner work. And marriage is not meant to cover fear, it is meant to rest on stability. Don't scroll, stay here, because this message is meant to calm you, not alarm you. You are not being asked to walk away, you are being asked to stand still long enough for clarity to arrive. And clarity always arrives when it's not forced. Listen to this: heaven is not measuring how fast you get to the altar, it is measuring whether your heart feels safe, whether your voice can be heard, whether your intuition is honored. Those things matter more than timelines. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reminder. Slowing down does not ruin what is meant for you. What is aligned does not expire under patience. It becomes more solid, more honest, more real. Listen to this: the truth that needs to surface will not arrive as chaos, it will arrive as understanding, a conversation that finally makes sense, a realization that settles instead of shakes, a moment where something clicks and you feel relief rather than fear. Don't scroll, because relief is the body's response to truth, and heaven wants truth before vows, not after. Listen to this: you are not meant to carry someone else's unresolved wounds into marriage and call it commitment. Love is partnership, not rescue. And heaven will never ask you to sacrifice your peace to keep a promise alive. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this right now. You are in a season where your nervous system is learning a new definition of love, one that feels calm instead of chaotic, steady instead of urgent, safe instead of overwhelming, and that recalibration is sacred. It is preparing you for a future that does not repeat old patterns. Listen to this: you are not behind, you are not missing out. You are not ruining anything by asking for time, you are honoring the weight of the decision. And heaven honors that too. Don't scroll, stay with me, because this unfolding is not finished yet. There is still clarity forming, still truth surfacing, still alignment settling into place. And when the moment comes where everything feels grounded instead of rushed, peaceful instead of pressured, clear instead of confusing, you will understand why this pause existed. You will see that it was not a delay, it was a safeguard. Listen to this: marriage aligned with heaven's guidance feels like rest, not strain. It feels like partnership, not performance. It feels like safety, not suspense. And if something needs time to reach that place, that time is a gift. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this final reassurance. What is meant for you will not be threatened by honesty, it will be strengthened by it. What is aligned will not disappear because you slowed down, it will stand firmer. And what is not aligned will gently fall away before it can cost you years of your life. Breathe. Stay present, trust what you feel, trust the timing, trust that heaven is not rushing you toward a promise, it is guiding you toward peace. And when peace and commitment meet, you will know, not because of pressure, but because your whole soul will finally feel safe saying yes. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because you are standing inside a moment that feels quiet but is actually carrying enormous weight for your future, and heaven is asking you to slow your breath and really hear what's being revealed beneath the surface. There is a reason your spirit feels alert lately, a reason your emotions don't rush the way they used to, a reason excitement is now paired with discernment instead of blind certainty. And that reason is growth. Listen closely: when someone talks about marrying you, about forever, about building a life side by side, it can feel validating, comforting, even divinely orchestrated, and yet heaven is gently pressing pause, not to remove love but to examine it, because marriage is not just about desire, it is about capacity, consistency, and emotional truth. Don't scroll, stay here. Because this isn't meant to create doubt, it's meant to create clarity. You are no longer the version of yourself that rushes into promises just to feel secure. You've lived enough life to know that love must feel safe in your body, not just exciting in your mind. Listen to this, your intuition has matured. It no longer shouts, it whispers, and that whisper is asking you to notice what hasn't been fully spoken yet, what hasn't been fully healed yet, what hasn't been fully integrated yet. Don't scroll. Because your heart needs this reassurance right now. The hesitation you feel is not resistance to commitment, it is respect for the weight of it. You are honoring the future you who will live inside this choice every day, not just the present you who feels hopeful now. Listen to this, heaven remembers every season where you ignored your inner voice, where you moved forward even when something felt unsettled, where you trusted words over patterns, and heaven is not letting you repeat that lesson. That's why things feel slower, deeper, more intentional this time. Don't scroll. Stay with me, because this message is meant to steady you, not alarm you. Love that is meant to last does not fear slowing down, it does not fear questions, it does not fear honesty. In fact, it grows stronger when those things are welcomed. Listen to this, you may notice that when marriage is discussed, there is excitement but also an emotional charge, a sense of urgency that doesn't fully settle, a need for reassurance that keeps resurfacing, and those signals are not flaws, they are invitations to pause, to talk, to understand. Don't scroll, because your heart needs to hear this clearly. Marriage does not fix unresolved fears, it magnifies them, and heaven will not allow a sacred covenant to be built on avoidance, pressure, or unspoken wounds. Listen to this, you are not meant to carry someone else's unfinished healing into marriage and call it love. Partnership is not rescue, and commitment is not meant to come at the cost of your peace. Don't scroll, because this is destiny speaking gently, reminding you that patience is not loss, it is wisdom in motion. You are not being asked to walk away, you are being asked to stay present long enough for truth to rise naturally, and truth always rises when it is given space. Listen to this, the clarity you are waiting for will not arrive as chaos, it will arrive as understanding, a conversation that finally lands. A realization that brings relief instead of panic, a moment where something clicks and your body relaxes. Don't scroll, because relief is the body's response to truth, and heaven wants truth before vows, not after. Listen to this, you are in a season where your nervous system is learning a new definition of love, one that feels calm instead of chaotic, steady instead of urgent, grounded instead of overwhelming, and that recalibration is sacred. It took you years of lessons to reach this point. Don't scroll, stay here. Because heaven is not measuring how fast you get to the altar, it is measuring whether your voice can be heard, whether your intuition is honored, whether your heart feels safe. Those things matter more than timelines. Listen to this. Slowing down does not ruin what is meant for you. What is aligned does not expire under patience. It becomes stronger, clearer, more real. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reminder. You are not behind. You are not missing out. You are not sabotaging love by asking for time. You are protecting your future, and heaven honors that protection. Listen to this. If something needs to be revealed, it will surface gently, not as devastation, but as clarity, and when it does, you will be grateful you listened instead of rushed. Don't scroll, stay with me, because this unfolding is still in motion, alignment is still settling, truth is still rising, and when the moment comes where everything feels grounded instead of pressured, peaceful instead of urgent, clear instead of confusing, you will understand why this pause existed, you will see that it was not a delay, it was a safeguard. Listen to this. Marriage aligned with heaven's guidance feels like rest, not strain. It feels like partnership, not performance. It feels like safety, not suspense. And if something needs time to reach that place, that time is a gift. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this final reassurance right now. What is meant for you will not disappear because you honored your intuition. It will either rise stronger or gently step aside to make room for what can truly meet you, and either outcome is protection. Breathe, stay present, trust what you feel, trust the timing, trust that heaven is not rushing you toward a promise, it is guiding you toward peace, and when peace and commitment finally meet, you won't feel pressure to say yes, your whole soul will know it's safe to do so. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you. And your heart needs this right now, because you are standing at the edge of a moment that will quietly shape the rest of your life. Even if nothing dramatic has happened yet, heaven is moving subtly, deliberately, with precision, and your spirit feels it before your mind can explain it. There is a reason you've been more reflective lately. A reason your emotions feel deeper but steadier. A reason you don't rush the way you once did, and that reason is not confusion, it's maturity, it's awakening, it's the part of you that has learned that forever is not something to step into lightly. Listen closely. When someone talks about marrying you, about building a life, about choosing you for good, it touches something sacred inside you, something that wants safety, rest, and shared purpose, and that desire is valid. But heaven is not only concerned with desire. Heaven is concerned with sustainability, with what happens after the excitement settles, after the ceremony ends, after life applies pressure. Don't scroll, stay here, because this is not a warning, it's a loving pause. You have lived enough to know that love can be real and still be unfinished, that commitment can be spoken and still lack the depth to hold you in hard seasons. And heaven will not let you enter a covenant carrying unanswered questions or unspoken truths. Listen to this. Your intuition has grown wiser, it doesn't scream anymore, it whispers, and that whisper has been asking you to slow down, to feel into the energy beneath the words, to notice how your body responds when the future is discussed, not because something is wrong, but because something still needs clarity. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. Hesitation does not mean you are afraid of commitment, it means you respect it. You understand that marriage is not a reward for love. It is a responsibility to protect one another's peace, and peace cannot exist where honesty is delayed. Listen to this. You have already lived through seasons where you rushed into certainty hoping clarity would follow, where you ignored small discomforts because you didn't want to lose connection, and heaven remembers how much that cost you, so now it protects you differently, with time, with space, with inner nudges that ask you to check alignment before you promise permanence. Don't scroll, stay with me, because heaven is not asking you to walk away, it is asking you to stand still long enough for truth to surface gently instead of exploding later. You may notice that conversations about marriage feel emotionally charged, that reassurance is needed more often than expected, that excitement sometimes turns into pressure, and those moments are not flaws, they are information, they are invitations to slow down and look deeper. Don't scroll, because your heart needs to hear this clearly. Love that is meant to last does not fear examination, it does not fear time, it does not fear honest conversations. In fact, it becomes stronger through them. Listen to this. Marriage does not heal unresolved wounds, it amplifies them, and heaven will never ask you to build forever on top of unaddressed pain, avoidance, or fear. You are not meant to carry someone else's unfinished healing and call it partnership. Love is mutual responsibility. Not self-sacrifice disguised as devotion. Don't scroll, because this is destiny speaking softly, reminding you that patience is not loss, it is wisdom in motion. You are not behind, you are not missing out, you are not sabotaging love by honoring your intuition, you are protecting the future version of yourself who deserves a life that feels stable, not tense, supported, not burdensome. Listen to this. The clarity you are waiting for will not arrive as chaos, it will arrive as understanding. A conversation that finally feels honest, a realization that brings relief instead of fear, a moment where your body relaxes because something finally makes sense. Don't scroll, because relief is the body's response to truth, and heaven wants truth before vows, not after. You are in a season where your nervous system is learning a new definition of love, one that feels calm instead of chaotic, grounded instead of urgent, safe instead of suspenseful, and that recalibration is sacred. It took years of lessons, disappointments, and growth to reach this point. Don't scroll, stay here, because heaven is not measuring how quickly you reach a milestone. It is measuring whether your voice is heard, whether your needs are honored, whether your intuition is respected. Those are the foundations of a marriage that can last. Listen to this. Slowing down does not destroy what is meant for you. What is aligned does not expire under patience. It strengthens, it deepens, it stabilizes. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reminder. If something is truly meant to be, it will still be there after questions are asked, after truth is spoken, after time is honored, and if something shifts under honesty, that shift is not loss, it is protection. Listen to this. Heaven is not silent, it is precise. It speaks when you are ready to listen, and you are listening now. That alone tells you how far you've come. Don't scroll, because this unfolding is still in motion. Alignment is still settling, clarity is still forming, and when the moment arrives where everything feels grounded instead of rushed, peaceful instead of pressured, clear instead of confusing, you will understand why this pause existed. You will see that it was not a delay, it was a safeguard. Listen to this. Marriage aligned with divine guidance feels like rest, not strain, partnership, not performance, safety, not suspense, and if something needs time to reach that place, that time is a gift, not an obstacle. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this final reassurance right now. What is meant for you will not require you to silence your intuition to keep it. It will honor your discernment, meet you in truth, and grow with you in peace. Breathe, stay present, trust what you feel, trust the timing, trust that heaven is not rushing you toward a promise, it is guiding you toward a future where your whole soul feels safe, seen, and steady, saying yes.